Hi guys, it's Miss Martinez, and for today's science lesson we are going to start learning about plants. Plants are really cool. I have a couple behind me. I really like to have them around my house and on my balcony because they make me feel happier when I see my plants. But plants can also be used in so many different ways. We use trees to make paper. Also, plants help circulate our air and refresh our air so that we're breathing in clean oxygen when we take our breaths. Another way that we use plants is in cooking. We can use herbs and spices to flavor our food, and we've used some spices, like we use thyme, which is an herb. It's a plant that grows in a little sprig, and we used that to make chicken noodle soup when we were back at school. So I thought it would be fun to start planting some herbs and watch them grow while we're still at home. So I thought that we could get started with that today. I went to the grocery store a few weeks ago and I got some eggs. And so this was just an egg carton, and there were a lot of eggs in here. I think that there were 24 that were in here, and I thought that these were the perfect little like pots to start planting herbs. They're not going to be able to stay in here forever because plants grow and they get bigger, and they're going to outgrow these little divots. But for now, I thought that this would be a great way to start planting some herbs, and then we can always move them to bigger pots if we need to. So today we are going to walk through how to plant seeds, and then in our next science lesson, we're going to review the different parts of a plant. Okay guys, to get started, we are going to need our little pots, our little planter, and for each one of these little divots, we're going to put one seed in there. Okay, so the first thing that we will need to do is start with some soil. So soil is what you find on the ground. It is dirt, and it can turn into mud if it gets too watery, but I have some soil, and I'm just going to take a spoon and scoop our soil into the little pots. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the bottom of each pot, and then we'll put the seed, and then we'll put a little bit more soil on top. Okay, so I used my soil and a spoon to put just a little bit of soil at the bottom of each one of these little pots, and now it's time to talk about our seeds. So I have 4 different kinds of seeds that I thought would be fun to plant and see how it does with growing. So I have lavender, which smells really nice. I thought it would be fun to have some lavender to make my room smell nice and around my home. I also have basil. I use basil to make pesto. Basil is also really good on pizza and a lot of different foods. Usually Italian, but it can be used in a lot of different ways. I also have rosemary. Rosemary is great with chicken and with, I think it's like really warm and homey foods that I like to use rosemary in. Also like with bread. If you do like bread with olive oil and some rosemary, that's delicious. So rosemary. And then cilantro. And I like to use cilantro in my tacos and my soups. Also some stir fries. There's a lot of different ways that you can use cilantro, and so we're going to plant that today. So we have 4 different plants, and we have 5 rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of pots. So I think I'm going to do each row give each seed a row and then maybe mix up the last one, but I haven't decided yet, so we'll see what we do today. But what we're going to do is just open our seed package. We're going to start with rosemary, and there are the tiniest little seeds in here. I don't even think that they would really show up on the camera, but you can kind of see they're those little brown specks inside of the bag. So I'm going to pour some seeds into my hand. I'm going to be careful to not drop them because they're so tiny. And then I think I'm going to do, since I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pots, and I have probably 30 seeds, I'm going to just drop about 5 seeds in each pot, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now I'm going to do lavender in our next row of pots. I'll keep the package here so we can remember what we did. The first one was rosemary, the next one we're going to do is lavender, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for lavender, cilantro, and for basil. I'm just going to pour out the seeds into my hand, and then I'm going to sprinkle a few seeds in each pot. And then after I do that, it's going to be time to cover up the seeds with some more soil. Okay, I'm working on the cilantro right now, and I just wanted to show you guys, look how different these seeds look. Our rosemary seeds were so tiny, it was like the tiniest little speck, and our cilantro seeds are much bigger. So I'm going to do 3 in each one of these rows. Okay guys, so I have taken our seeds and I've sprinkled them into the different pots in our rows. So right here we have rosemary seeds. You can see them really tiny, kind of like right in the middle of the dirt right there. Next we have lavender seeds, and they are really dark, but there's one. I did a sprinkle, like a pinch in each one, so there's a couple seeds in each pot. This is cilantro seeds. And then next we have basil seeds, and the basil ones are so tiny. I don't even think you can really see them on this video, but I think that they are like those black little tiny seeds right there. So now that we have our seeds in our pots, we can put more soil on top. I'm going to take my soil and my spoon, and now it's time to cover up our little seeds. So we can see them sitting on top of the soil, but we want them to be buried. So now I'm going to take the soil and sprinkle a little bit on top so that we don't see any of our seeds. All right. So we put soil on the bottom, we put our seeds on top of that soil, and then now we've covered up those seeds so that they're buried, and you can see that our little pots are much more full with soil. So now every plant needs soil, every plant needs light, that's why we're outside, and every plant needs water. So it is time to take our water and to just not a ton, because we don't want to turn our soil into mud, and we don't want to drown our seeds, but we do need them to be watered. So I'm going to take a little bit of water in each pot and make sure that the seed has what it needs. Okay, our pots have been watered. You can see that our soil is darker now. It's been watered, and our seeds are set up to grow. So I'm gonna check these every day, and I'm gonna water them every couple days. I'm gonna leave them outside to make sure that they're getting the sunlight that they need to grow. And it will be really fun to see if we get some herbs from while we're at home social distancing. It will be cool to see if we get some plants growing from that. So I'll post updated videos, guys, so that we can check in on our plants. And just to review, today we used a recycled material to turn it into pot holders, and we started growing some herbs. In our next science lesson, we will be talking about the different parts of a plant so that we can get familiar with that. Have a great day.